Hey, you got your politics in my gaming. You got your gaming in my politics. Well, even though it's not as fun as or delicious as peanut butter and chocolate, here we are. Gaming and politics, unfortunately, are creating this unholy union as Nintendo has decided to delay the pre sale date for the Switch 2, which was supposed to be the 9th of this month, and now it has been delayed back until they can probably figure out the tariffs. As yes, the same day that the Switch 2 came out, the tariffs were announced, and reciprocal tariffs were announced today, and it looks like Nintendo is going to have to reprice everything. So, as a wise man once said, you may not mess with politics, but politics will mess with you. And that's the situation we have here is people were already complaining about the high price of the Nintendo Switch console, Nintendo Switch 2. And yeah, it looks like we're looking at a potential 30% raise in what we were already expecting. So it could take the Nintendo Switch 2 from 450 to 600, or the bundle from 600 to 650. But don't worry, we actually also have a fun part of the show. We're gonna do some gameplay of a horror game that dropped today, in fact, and I'm just kind of excited for you guys to check that out. But first, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow, and just keeps me sane, honestly. But let's go back to a little bit of this Switch 2 news and the delayed pre-sale launch. Now, I think Nintendo is definitely going to have a lot to contend with here. As we were just talking about, I think the price of the Switch 2 was already at a very high mark, especially for what it was. Yes, when you look at other handheld PCs, it actually pretty well valued, but you're also dealing with a huge market that is just family and not serious gamers, more casual. But this is where Nintendo has made their buck. And so, can you really take away from that market? Doubt it. They're going to have a lot to contend with. And honestly, this just might be a bad generation for Nintendo. They have a lot to go up against, especially when you think about the tariffs not only just applying to a Switch 2, but them applying to every piece of electronics. Your phone, your tablet, TV. God love you, you better already have a graphics card that you're comfortable with for the next 4 or 5 years, because that is going to totally blow up. There's so many of these issues, though, that I think where you could potentially get like a used PS5 Pro or something like that, you're going to be fine with for a few years. Nintendo Switch 2, on the other hand, is just going to be subject to those tariffs from the get, and it's going to be expensive. Now, I'm not saying that this is already said and done, and I think that's why Nintendo is stopping the pre-orders, because they just want to wait to see, okay, how much of this is going to get implemented, how much of it is going to affect our bottom line, because once you already put a price on something, it's really difficult to raise the price. And I think they're already seeing that, let alone if you've got a market where people have paid a certain price and then you have to raise that price. It's obviously is not Nintendo's fault, but it's a situation that we're all having to deal with. And I don't know, I think it just makes things even more complicated and more of an issue for Nintendo Switch fans and people who are excited for this launch. And again, I think Nintendo Switch 2 had a great launch, had a great direct. Many ways, it was everything we would want. And then it just deteriorated from there when it comes to the pricing issues, the fact that Nintendo was not very clear on any of that. Then we have to look at the tariff situation, the fact that there's going to be a number of people who just can't afford this. We're heading into a horrible, horrible situation with our economy. I mean, if you live in America today, you've seen the news on the stock market. It is just plummeting. But that's not the only issue. It's just the fact that this is a luxury item. And for a number of people, they don't even have enough money really to hold their shit together as far as not being in debt. Americans in general are in a massive amount of credit card debt, and they have been for the last couple of years, and it's just getting worse and worse. Now you take an item that is, like I said, a luxury item, and maybe even at $650 is kind of outpriced now. And again, that's if the tariffs sit at 30% at what we think they are, but that then raises the price of the Switch 2 to, like I said, $650, and I think that actually outprices the Switch at that point. When it was at that 500 mark, I think it was a fair price, but you raise it too much, then you're not even getting a good deal on this piece of hardware. And again, I think the other companies are going to have the same issue, but instead of this being something that people have to buy, they're just going to pass on it. And I don't know. This is all all unfolding rapidly, and of course the price is gonna be something that fluctuates from whatever it is to the tariff price, and then from there on. So we'll figure all of this out as it goes, but the most important news I would say right now is just to note that the pre-sale date has been delayed. Until when, we don't know yet, but I'll let you know as soon as I find out. But moving on, I wanted you guys to check out this game. I was lucky enough to get a review copy from Dolores Entertainment. It's a horror game called Project 13 Nightwatch, and in this game, you pretty much are like the head of quality control. The thing that you're judging its quality, though, is beings, human beings, or some sort of living beings. You're trying to make sure that there's no aliens sneaking through. Armed with your binoculars, which have some pretty nifty features to them to help you find these aliens, is your job to inspect all of these people in this courtyard or this holding area, and if you don't see an alien, you can let them go. And they can all go through in the past. But the problem is if an alien does get through, you've just allowed this alien into your base. You have screwed up majorly. And this is essentially your job in this game, is just to make sure that you don't let any aliens in. It's a pretty fun little concept, and I honestly had quite a bit of fun playing it, just kind of checking it out. I'm glad to see games deciding to go different routes instead of just doing the same thing over and over. And for me, it's where this one lived. It was just fun doing this one task, trying to find as many aliens as I possibly could. Is it something I think that I would play for hours at a time? No, but here and there, it's kind of fun. Like, give yourself like 20 minutes here, 20, 30 minutes there, something like that. I'm pretty much going to let just the gameplay go while I'm talking, and do very little commentary, because for one, I think you get more representation just seeing how the game plays out than you do me trying to explain it. And also, I am losing my voice because I've been doing a lot of videos lately, as well as doing guest spots on other places, and a little bit of allergies going on, so the throat is not doing so great. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here and leave you guys with just a nice minute or two of just pure gameplay without hearing my annoying voice. But I did want to let you guys know that I do love each and every one of you. Please comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are on Project 13 Nightwatch. Let me know what your thoughts are on the delayed Switch 2 pre-sale date, and what you think about all of that and how that's going to affect you. Anything and everything down in that comment section. Much appreciated. I love each and every one of you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.